Arizona's hottest R&B. It's the all-new Vena Soul. What's up? It's Julian here, and I got a special guest with me, Jvion Jones. How are you doing, my man?
I'm good. How you doing? How you doing?
I'm very good, my man. You're author, you're a mentor, speaker, and father. We were just talking about it.
Yeah.
Your son, right?
Yes.
Everything to you. Just talk about fatherhood, my man.
Fatherhood is definitely the most important aspect of my life. As I told you before we got on here, anytime I introduce myself to somebody, anytime they ask me, what do you do? Who are you? If you go to any of my social media platforms, if you look at my business card, it says, actually, it should say father. If it doesn't, I'm going to throw that on there. Look, let me see this.
Yeah.
Let me see. Is we live? Okay. I got to add that on there for the folks that's listening. So,
right. Yeah.
Father, author, mentor, I put that first because that's who I am first. My son is the one that inspired everything that I do, post when he was born in 2016. All of the books that I write, inspired by him. All of the moves that I make, inspired by him. The reason I am a positive individual is because of him. Was I positive before that? Of course I was. You know, my mama raised me well.
Right,
but
right.
I stay on the track that I'm on because I want to make sure that I am a perfect example of who he should be as a man.
Right. Describe, though, that feeling. Obviously, I'm a father. I have 3. They're a little older than yours. But describe that feeling when he was first born.
You can't, I mean, it's hard to describe, but it's like none other. I definitely remember just bawling out, crying the moment that big head came out. Like
yeah.
The moment. I was good before that, but the moment I saw, and he came out like with a full set of hair. Like you could have probably gave him locks when he first came out. The moment I saw that hair, I just started bawling out, crying, and it changed my life. It's nothing like having somebody that you just care for and you just love, just no matter what. There's no better feeling than being a father, no better feeling than being a mother or a parent, just in general.
Oh, absolutely.
So you just can't really, you can, but you can't really describe it because you can't compare it to anything else at all.
Exactly, and it's funny you mentioned that because I have 3, 2 daughters and a son. They all had their own separate feeling when they were born. Obviously, the first one is your first one, my oldest daughter. And then my youngest daughter, it was a whole different scenario situation. With her, she was a preemie, so she came out soon, but I was so glad to see her. I was like, oh, look at this cute little thing. But in the middle, my son, that was a whole different vibe when he was born. So that's why I asked you the question, because I just remember when it was my son.
Yeah.
It was a whole different feeling. And it's so good to hear you talk about that and put that first, because I know how important that is to you. So with that being said, what has your son inspired you to do?
He has inspired me to live my life in the present and make sure that everything that I do right now in the present, right? That's now, that's tomorrow, that's in the immediate present. Everything that I do is impactful for not only him, but the people that I touch in the future, right? So I want to make sure that, and this is solely, and not solely, but primarily inspired by him, that 10, 15, 20 years from now, my name still lives on and people still think, oh, Jvion, that was a good dude. Jvion, he helped me in some way. Definitely with my son. I want him to be 20, 25, 30 years old and still not only just, okay, that was my father, but really just have like key things that he can touch back on that I taught him or that he gleaned from me, as growing up. So he's inspired me to really just be a beacon in my community, and just a positive person and just impact lives as much as I can.
And speaking of that legacy, you just told me that the books that you've written, you have a lot of them. We're going to be going through all of them. But your son inspired you. Is that with your first book, or because you are an author? Let's make sure everybody knows that you're an author. So you've got, at least in studio right now, you've got 5. Is that the?
Yeah, these are all of my books. All 5.
All of them. Okay. So you're an author. You got 5 books, and speaking of legacy now, because you told me that what your son inspired you to do was to write, and all the stuff that you've got for him and for others too. Talk about what has inspired you to write and to leave this legacy behind?
So yeah, great question. So we'll start with the first one quickly. So this one, the first book is called Sever the Middleman, How to Start a Clothing Brand and Produce Quality Apparel from Home.
Okay.
So this is essentially just about entrepreneurship. And we spoken, you have your radio station, and you do a lot of groundwork yourself, right? You don't have to work, you don't work for nobody. You're not waiting for somebody else to do something for you.
Right.
You do the work yourself. So this is about cutting out the middleman and saying, listen, I want to get something done. I can do it myself, right? So that's what this is about, is how to start a clothing brand. And not only just how to start a clothing brand, but if you just want to just print apparel from home, just do it yourself. Quick idea, family reunion, you can do it yourself. So this is about entrepreneurship. So this is something that I want to instill in my son. My second book is called Write This Down. This is a planner. So it's a yearly planner.
Oh, yeah.
365 days. It's a weekly planner where every week you can go through, list down your goals, list down major achievements that you want to achieve, right? It has like a gratitude tracker in there, weight, and you can just track your daily and your weekly progress, right? Because I'm a big believer of just writing things down. Like if you just leave things up in your head, you most likely forget it. So I'm a big believer and big proponent of just making sure that whatever goals you have, you want to write them down to achieve it.
Fantastic.
This next one, Before 18. This one right here this is definitely inspired by him, and it's called Before 18: The Missing Conversations in Our Communities for Our Young People. So, as a lot of your listeners may know, in our communities, oftentimes where we grow up, we don't grow up in households where we learn about the importance of financial literacy, education, credit, investing, entrepreneurship, eating healthy, mental health, unity. We don't learn about those things, and we certainly don't learn about them in school, unfortunately, right? And it can be for a multitude of reasons. So I wanted to write a book where that'll prepare, that's geared towards young men and women, that's geared towards that, and that prepares them for when they do turn 18, 19, 21, they'll be able to turn that age and know, okay, this is what ownership is about, right? This is financial literacy, so that way they're not turning 18, 19, 20, or whatever age, just behind the ball, right? Because I wasn't prepared when I turned 18, 19. I, like a lot of people, just quickly got in debt, right? Quickly made a lot of mistakes. So I wanted to write a book that'll prepare them. And that fourth one, we're on number 4, right? It's a lot of books.
Yeah.
This one right here is, this was the hardest one to write. This is called Extracting Peace Out of Pain. Life is About Perspective.
Okay.
You see the cover, it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
So that one, and so in 2021, May of 2021, I was diagnosed with glioblastoma brain cancer. Right?
Whoa.
So as you can imagine, my first thought was my first thought was just like truly at a loss for words. Really just didn't have any thoughts at all. But immediately after that, first thing that I thought about was my son. Was me not being here for my son. My son not being able to see me as he grow up, me not being able to see him as I grow up. And what I did was everything turned into just perspective. It's just how you look at it, right? I got cancer, but everything is how you look at it. We all got something to be grateful for. So even though I got this daily disease, I can still find something to be grateful for. So this book is about me talking about all of the positives that I got out of that situation in the ways that it made me better, instead of just harping on the fact that, okay, I got cancer, right? So I've made a lot of positive changes in my life after my diagnosis. In my opinion, I believe that I became a better father. I became a more present father. I started to focus on, my future more after the diagnosis. So that book is about that. It's about perspective, and it's about like the positive changes that happen. And this last one that I recently just published last month, was it May? Yeah, May 20th, 2023 is called When You're Old Enough. Oh, you have a question?
Oh, no.
I could just babble. Sometimes I talk too much. Okay, so
this is great.
Okay. So when you're old enough to understand, my legacy left behind is kind of a continuation of Extracting Peace Out of Pain. And I say that because it's also like extremely focused on my relationship and with my son and fatherhood. So it's a guided keepsake journal to pass down legacy to my children and grandchildren. So again, this is a journal, so this isn't a book where I'm in here
Oh,
just
it's a
talking.
journal. Okay.
It's a journal, so it's geared towards parents, grandparents, anybody that got children, to where it asks a bunch of questions. So a bunch of guided questions about your childhood, about your top 5 rappers all time, different all types of questions.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yes, school. So it's pretty much just getting to know the mother, the father, the grandfather, from questions from your birth, when you were born. It has questions about family history, recipes, just whatever you name it. It has those questions. And I wrote this book because I wanted to, if anything were to happen to me, because I get MRIs every 2 months just to see if the tumor come back. So
right.
To be honest, I can be as positive as I want to, but I don't know when I'm gonna leave this earth. Nobody knows. Certainly me now, because of my diagnosis, it can come earlier than anticipated.
Right.
Right. Before it was like, okay, I'm feeling pretty good that I'm gonna be here until I'm about 60, 70. That was before. But now I don't know if I'm gonna be here at 40.
Yeah, it's a little different now.
Yes, it's a little deep. I don't know. So I want to make sure that the time that I do have here, that I do have now here on Earth, I'm preparing myself for when I do check out. Hopefully that is at 70, 80, 90, 100. Hopefully it is at that. But if I do check out early, if I do pass on early, my son knows everything there is to know about his father. He can learn lessons from me, right? They got sections in here where it's talking about life lessons, and, advice and stuff like that.
Right.
Situational things of that nature. So I want to make sure that if I check out when he 15, 17, he can go back to this book or any of my books at all and go to a certain chapter. What would my father say about this? What would he think about this? And he can know me.
And you know what? That's something that we used to do long ago. Keep books, keep journals of previous, of forefathers,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, hopefully that will inspire him to do the same thing for his son, to keep kind of that tradition going and legacy going.
Yeah.
All started with you.
Yeah.
So, wow, that's living with that. Now, what kind of brain tumor is that again?
Glioblastoma, brain cancer. So it's one of the it's like the granddaddy of brain cancers. It has, I believe, the highest mortality rate of them all. So it's the most aggressive brain cancer there is.
The most aggressive.
The most aggressive, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we're gonna have to definitely send you some prayers and some positive
Thank you.
your way. Yeah, because you got to pull out of that one.
Yeah.
No, we need you here, brother. So we're gonna.
Yeah, I need me here too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But so far, so good. As I mentioned, since my diagnosis back in May 2021, I get MRIs every 2 months. I actually got one scheduled on the 28th of this month. So every 2 months, like clockwork, get MRIs, make sure the tumor hasn't come back. And so far, I'm getting straight A's.
Okay.
I'm nervous every time. It's,
right.
It's like getting the AIDS test every 2 months. You're just nervous.
Yeah.
I'm just nervous. But so far, so good. So I'm grateful. That's why every time anybody asks me how you doing, in my response, I say respect and gratitude. Right. Gratitude is big for me. You ask me how I'm doing, I'm grateful. That's all that matters.
But you're still here, and you still got opportunities to get stuff done. That probably gives you that bigger drive, right, to get stuff done. Because again, we don't ever know anyway.
Yeah. Anyway. You
know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's a little extra heavy on your head.
Yeah. Because like you mentioned, no one knows. You can be as healthy as anybody. Anybody can pass on any time. But with my case, it's. So that's why I'm like, I got that extra drive. That's why I've written like all of these books, 1, 2, and 3. I've written in since 2000. I think these 2 came out in like less than a year. Like 3 months apart. Extracting Peace Out of Pain and Before 18 came out 3 months apart. One came out in February on my son's birthday. He was born on Valentine's Day in February 2022. And then Extracting Peace, or 22, and then Extracting Peace Out of Pain came out 3 months later.
Okay.
And the reason is because once I got the diagnosis, I just came up with this idea that I'm about to just pump out book book after book. Like I originally set out to do 5 books in a year, and then of course I came across a book that it wasn't that easy to do fast, so it took me some time. But
Right.
my even now my goal is still to just book after book. I got another book coming out in
Right.
2 months, right? And then after that, I have certain drop dates where I'm going to come out. So I'm at least be coming out with 3-4 books a year. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I want to make sure that I have content here for when I'm gone. Make sure that I have something to say for when I'm gone. Like I mentioned this in my book, Extract a Piece Out of Pain. Like I'm on some Tupac stuff right now. You know what I mean? Like when he passed on, he had like 18 albums afterwards.
18, yeah.
So,
He ripped him off. He was doing it, and
Yeah.
yeah. And there's still stuff we haven't even heard.
exactly.
Yet.
So that's what I'm on. I'm on some Tupac stuff where I want to make sure that when I'm going, I got my Machiavelli. I got what I mean.
Yeah.
To the end of time. You know what I mean? Like I got all of that, so I can still leave an impact for when I'm not here. I think that's the most amazing thing is people that leave an impact when they're gone. Like I got a Malcolm X shirt on right now. He died in 1965. It's amazing that he's still impacting people.
Exactly.
Right?
Matter of fact, it'll be his 100th birthday in 2 years.
There we go. Right. We still talk about him to this day.
About it.
The list goes on and on. So I want to be that. I don't have to be that on a major scale. I can be that just for my son, or I can just be that for the people that I've touched in the community.
Exactly.
That's all that matters.
Exactly. That's great, man. That is great. And speaking of T-shirts, I'm sure you have that same mentality for your clothing situation. Talk about your clothing line and your printing service.
Yeah, so I started a clothing brand in 2016. I've always been a type that I never wanted to work for somebody else. Not that there's anything wrong with it.
Right.
Nothing wrong with it at all. In fact, I'm currently employed as well. So there's nothing wrong with it. But I've always just wanted to just work for myself and just have my own rules and just be an entrepreneur, right? So I started a clothing brand in 2016 called Till I'm On E. So it's spelled Tillimone. When a lot of people look at the name, they don't really know what it is because it's just Tillimone. They don't know how to pronounce it, but it's actually pronounced Till I'm On E, and the E stands for empty. So it just means, giving it everything you got.
Oh.
So I started that in 2016, motivational brand. So you look at any of my shirts, it's inspirational quotes that I came up with, or something where it's just about Black empowerment, such as the shirt that I have on now. And over time, I started to do custom apparel as well. So companies that or individuals that need shirts made, I got you. You go to the website jvionvision.com, fill out a quote request, and I got you. I take care of you.
Oh yeah.
So that's something that I have a passion for. Like I enjoy doing it, and I want to get that message out. If you have something that you enjoy doing, like it's a passion, do it. Like it's not work. It's not a job if you enjoy doing it. It certainly doesn't feel like it.
Exactly.
When I'm pressing shirts, when I'm writing a book, it don't feel like work because I enjoy doing it. I'll do it for no pay. When I'm writing my book, the time that it takes me to write my books, I'm not getting paid for that.
Exactly.
Right? When I'm pressing the shirts, I'm gonna get paid at some point, but I still enjoy doing it.
Still enjoy doing it.
I still enjoy doing it. So, do what you love.
Absolutely, and I'm right there with you. This radio thing, I'm gonna die doing this, regardless. You get paid or not. This is my passion, and I just love people who just do their thing, and you're definitely doing that. So before I let you go, we wanted to touch upon going back to fatherhood. You mentioned an organization, and I think I've seen a clip or someone post. I think I've seen on your Facebook page the organization. Now, what is it? What's the name of the organization?
So it's Our Black Fathers Committee, OBFC.
OBFC. Okay.
So it's a organization for fathers, and one of the things that we do is every Tuesday, like clockwork, Tuesdays at 6:00, we all get on the phone and we just have conversations surrounding fatherhood, conversations surrounding just personal issues in life. Like I always say, every time we get off the call and it goes for an hour, I always send a text message to our group and I say, all right, man, great therapy session. Because it's like therapy. A lot of brothers get on that call, you know what I mean, and they get a lot of things off of their chest. We bounce ideas, back off at one another, because even though we're fathers and we may think that we got everything figured out, we really don't. So it's good to get on calls like that where we can hear from other fathers on, certain things that they're dealing with their sons or their daughters that we can learn from, right? So we just have like really, really good conversations and dialogue on those calls. And we also do, certain events and stuff like that. We just had a couple of weeks ago an annual RBG weekend, where we had 5 events over the weekend. So we had a music showcase, we had an author summit that I hosted.
Okay.
We had a Black Love conference, right? So we had a gung fu training. So we had a self-defense class as well over the weekend, and we do that annually. We did one last year for the first time, and this year we did it for the second time. So I'll make sure that next time you know about the one next time. That's around the same time, and it's just about just bringing the community together, right? Having open dialogue about important issues, and just making sure that we're able to come together as a collective and just talk about just positive topics and just be together as people.
That's important. How would somebody just get involved in that? Is that they have a website or a?
Yeah, so it's obfconline.com, obfconline.com. That's the website, and Instagram is obfc.az. Yeah, just at obfc.az. So go in there, send a follow, connect with us. We always got a lot of stuff going on, and we can send an inquiry that you want to get the information, the link for the call, and we'll send it out. And again, it's every Tuesday at 6:00.
Ooh, very important.
Any black father want to get on there, you want to, pour your heart out. You want to or you just want to listen in. You don't even have to talk.
Right.
You can just listen in. There's a lot of times where brothers are just on there, just taking in the information. You know what I mean? Because like I said, it's therapy for me. And I could be a quiet person. A lot of times I don't want to be bothered, but when I get on those calls, it's like, you know what? I'm glad I got on here.
Yeah.
Because it's therapeutic.
Yeah, I think every brother especially around here, is Phoenix based, right?
Yes.
Yeah, get on this.
Yeah.
Shoot, I'm gonna get on this.
Yeah, and even if you're in a different state, actually, if you're in a different state, you want to get on those calls. And I'll also say this: if you're just a black man, you're not a father. You still get on those calls.
Get on those calls anyway.
You still get on those calls.
Love that.
If your baby on the way, if it ain't here yet, you don't want to have kids. You a black man, you can get on those calls.
All the wisdom, especially a young single dude with no kids. Yeah, brother, get on that call and hear this. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
I learned a lot from that call because I'm probably the youngest one that be on that call. And we're all in the same age range for the most part. Late 30s and 40s and stuff like that. But, they have kids. A lot of the brothers on that call, they have kids that are older. So I have a 7-year-old. So I don't know nothing about that 8 to 17 range. So I'm learning all of this stuff now. And they've been there. They've experienced, an 8, 9, 10-year-old. I haven't experienced that yet, so I'm able to just learn some things like, what did you do, as in this situation? So it's made me a better person and a father because we just all feed off of one another.
I love it. So yeah, brothers, take advantage of that. All right, man. So let us know where we can find you again and where we can purchase your books.
All right, thank you. So my website is jvionvision.com. So that's JVION vision.com. All of my social media platforms is at Jvion Vision, JVION. I'm not gonna tell you how to. You better know how to spell vision. I'm still spelling VISION. And I actually wrote it in the air because I don't know. I got to do that to make sure I get it right.
Do it. Yeah.
So that's my social media platform. My books are also on Amazon. If for some reason you don't trust my website, you can go to Amazon. Preferably, I get it from my website because they take a piece. They go take their percentage. So preferably get it from my website, and I'll make sure that I sign it for you. I got it, and you'll also be a part of the email list. So if I have any deals or anything like that, you'll be the first to know. So definitely visit the website. Go to all my social media platforms. Follow me, and reach out. I'm always of assistance if you need anything.
All right, perfect. Man, I'm so glad you stopped by, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Jvion Jones in the building. Thank you, man. All right.
Respect and gratitude.
All right. Keep it on. 5 o'clock free ride is next.